Hey, before you watch this beautiful mess of a video where I stumble through learning to talk, this is me recording afterwards after I've gotten a bit used to it. I did forget to mention who this video is for, really. This is kind of for people who are getting into music, know the basics, but want to learn more. I kind of said that, but I didn't explain it super well. So, here, that's that. Yeah, okay.
Hi, it's me, Sparking Comet. I don't know how to record videos, and I shouldn't have decided I was going to do this, but here I am. For 450 subscribers, I said I'd go through reflection and explain how I made it. So this is probably helpful for like semi-beginners in if you're trying to compose and you think reflection sounds cool and you don't know how to make something which sounds the same. That's what this is for. Uh, Pardon my awkwardness. Um, I will undoubtedly mess up majorly, and you will be perfectly. Um, you should you should ask in the comments if I say something stupid and you don't understand, because that will happen, I think. So yeah, if you don't understand something, do that, and I will now uh, go through go through the song. That's what I'm doing now. Here, I'm gonna play a section, and then I'm gonna go through the instruments in the section. Right, how do I make this? Okay, so first, in this very first two bars, this opening, we have a thing, a sound font called Sonar. I don't know if you can see this thing I've opened. No, you can't on the recording. Okay, well, basically, it's called um, it's from Joshua R Sound Fonts. Don't know where I got that. Just look it up. And it's in the sci-fi supernatural sounding section, and it's called Sonar, and it just sounds like this. It's a nice ambience. Um, so that's how the song starts, and then we've got a music box playing in reverse here as a sweep. I think I got this one from Joshua R as well. Thanks to that guy, I guess. Cool dude, I'm sure. And then we've got also a reverse crash, which is playing at the same time, and that sounds like this. Also, the sonar kind of fades in using this automation track. Right? Cool. So does the music box, because it sounds kind of abrupt if you don't add that in. Okay, that's the very start. Now I'm gonna continue, right? So in this, we've got this bass. This is Ample Bass P Lite. It's free, very good plugin. I use it in a lot of stuff. Sounds cool. I don't think it has any effects on it or anything. It just sounds like this, and it's just playing descending notes. And then we've got this music box, which is a Labs music box. Again, for everything here is free. I'm going to stop saying that. I don't use paid stuff. Very, very convenient, right? Labs music box. And it's just playing this melody, which kind of goes with the descending notes on the bass, right? So they were this, this, and then this, right? And these just kind of work off of it as a chord progression, even though it's not technically playing chords. You know, it's using the chord tones that would be there if it was. That's kind of useful, maybe. And then there's this, another thing from the Joshua R. don't know if this is even audible, to be honest. I don't know if the song would sound any different without it, but it's just playing the same thing as the bass. And then just got some kicks going from the Undertale Soundfont 2 drum kit, I guess. Cool. And one last thing, we have the music box is actually panning left to right slightly. Yeah, I forgot it did this, so I guess that shows how unnoticeable it is. But it's there. Yeah, and then during this drop, for the drop, this music box just plays this thing from Pokemon, I guess. The bow entering theme, I think it is. I don't know. I don't actually play Pokemon. This Reverse Crash plays, and this Super Saw also goes out. And guess where I got the Super Saw from? It's actually Joshua R. I got a lot of stuff from that Soundfont pack for this song because I found it while making the song. That's the opening. Wait, let me check. I forgot. Okay, yeah, that's the opening, I think. And then we go into this bit. I'll mute the voices for now. We're doing the instrumental first. Alright, so for this, the main thing we've got, I think, is this, again, the Super Saw. This is, I already said where I found it. Now I'll go over the effects on it. This is EQ. It's, it's boosting the highs. I don't know, this is a shit EQ that I used to use before I realized I had this one. It's basically just doing this, and I guess I'll explain what an EQ is. An EQ is something which takes frequencies in the sound. So here's like the low frequencies that you'd hear in a kick. Here's the high ones you hear in Super Saws and stuff like that. And you know, you do this and you boost the high pitches of the sound, and it sounds a little different. And then I've got an amplifier. I guess it was 11% too quiet. Even though I could have just turned it up over here. And then there's a low pass filter which cuts off the highs, which makes me wonder why I increased them in the first place. It's been so long since I made the song, I don't know what the hell I was doing. Okay, so that's that. It crashed. Okay, let me...
We're back. I've forgotten where I was now. Okay, I was gonna go over this drum box. It's the Game Boy drum box. I think I just looked up Game Boy drum box. It's got all this EQ on it, boosting. It boosts the lows and lowers the highs. I don't know. I guess because I only wanted to use it for kicks, I kind of EQ'd it like you would a kick. Yeah, very simple. Doesn't add that much, I don't think. Then I've got this bass. It's playing the same as the kicks. They kind of go together, and it's playing down these notes. Like this is kind of the chord progression here, and these are going down it. Are there any effects on this bass that I should talk about? Nope. Okay, and then there's this. This is an impact hit from Undertale, I guess. I mean, that's where I got it anyway. It's cool sounding. I've also, I think, got a Crash playing here from the M2 Power Drum Kit. Another free plugin, very powerful. I use it everywhere. And then the drums kind of kick in. The M2 Power Drum Kit, let me warn you, sounds terrible on its own. That is not the point. The point is that it backs up the breakbeat. The breakbeat is the main part of this. That's the main meat of the drums. And then I throw in that and that, just to give it a little extra oomph, right? So that's that. That's the drums explained, I guess. This section at least. I just generated the up and the slam, these just online with an 8-bit sound generator, very simple. And then we've got this too. You might be able to tell, especially considering I named it. It's the mute trumpet from. Well, actually, no, it's just the trumpet. The mute trumpet also sounds the same, I think. I think they're the same sound, but they're named different things in the same sound font for some reason. I'm not sure why. And then it's got a bunch of effects, which I would have not guessed were on it. It's got the same effects as the Super Saw, actually, so I wonder if it was an accident. And then we've got this, where everything cuts out. The Game Boy Drum Kit does this. And the bass keeps going, I guess, and this goes like this. Also, we've got a new instrument here. It's the music box, but with a low pass filter, because it needed to sound a little less not low passed. And then the modern instrument changes to this instead of the thing it was doing before. Again, this is kind of following the chord progression. Not actually very tightly, I'll be honest. I thought it would be more. Here's another thing. This is the Super Saw, except I added a chorus effect to it. I mean, this, I think what a chorus does is it like widens it by playing multiple versions of it in different like places on the panning, you know? So yeah, it just makes it sound a little wider. And then we've got this EQ, which boosts the lower stuff because that sounds good. And then we've got multi-tap echo, which makes it echo 4 times. And that is the Super Saw with effects. And that kind of ties together the chorus. It's all very simple, and honestly, there are definitely more interesting songs I could go over, but let's continue. For the transition, the sonar starts playing, and then everything, like, I used like automation to just lower the pitch of the synth, and then we just use this transition from before again. And this is pretty much the same as the intro, I want to say. At least this part. And then we jump into the second one. This uses just a nice little rhythm with the Super Saw playing. And it's also got MT Power Drum Kit as the drums. This particular rhythm, I think, is a preset somewhere in there, like in here, somewhere in here. I don't know. It's it's nice. And then to exit, I think this happened in the first one too, but I didn't mention it. The music box kind of plays like a mini chord. I don't know what's up with that. It just sounds good, so I did it. And yeah, and then that's the last section. I think we're on to the last section, and then I'll do vocals. This, it's just a music box playing chords. The chord changes a little here. You can't actually tell. I guess that's not important. Obviously, we've just got the bass playing the root note of the chord that plays. We've got sonar here again, and then I added these little diddle-diddle-diddles. that is the instrumental. I will now explain a little bit about the vocals if there's anything interesting, and if not, this whole section will be skipped, I'm guessing. So let's go over Pikachu. This is how Pikachu sounds without effects, actually quite significant. And going through them one by one, we've got... this is reverb. It's quite simple, really. Quite aggressive reverb, but just a very low wet level, so most of the output isn't affected. We've got this EQ, which is empty, so okay. And then we've got an amplifier because Pikachu is not loud enough. And then we've got Mimikyu, who probably has the same stuff. Yep, just the reverb, nothing else. Okay. As for what notes they're playing, like the melodies, I made these up. They're not like based on any music theory or anything I could really tell you. I just thought this would sound cool and I wrote it in. I mean, I guess there's one thing I can say. First of all, this bit is kind of neat, I guess. Like it toggles up and down an octave really quickly, and then it ends with a D, which is the like root note of the key. You know, that's the key note. So yeah, it sounds good. All right. I think I'm on to the last bit now. I will explain briefly how I created these sound fonts. Basically, for the Mimikyu one, this one was pretty easy. I just looked up Mimikyu Pokemon Cry on YouTube and downloaded the first result, and then I took it into Audacity and I used pulse stretch to make it longer. Did I make it longer? It's not all that long, so I guess I didn't use very much of it, but yeah, that's what I did for that. And Pikachu, a little more complicated. I went to the sounds resource, I think is the site I used, and just found a bunch of Pikachu voice lines, and I did the same thing. I took them into Audacity. And I pulse stretched them. This one doesn't sound that good on long notes. This one sounds fine, so I did have to do one thing where you might have noticed there's two Pikachu things here. This one is it plays a note down, and then it's pitched back up. So what it sounds like is this, which is it's basically just wait. Okay, well basically it's just it's just alternate sounds. I didn't like how the P sounded on long notes, so whenever a long note was a P, I just switched it for a car with this, but it's still the same pitch because I did this. That's what this is for. That's the conclusion. Yeah, it's this. It just inverts all the stuff because I didn't like how the P sounded. Yep, over-explained as hell, but you get it. That's what over-explaining is for, isn't it? You can see it's super in action here if I show what it would have been like had I not done it. See, it does not sound right. Right. I don't know, I guess the tempo changes here. It goes from 150 to 170 when this section ends. Then back to 150, back to 170, very simple. Yeah, if this was somehow helpful despite the messiness, then leave a like, and maybe I'll do some on other songs. If you do particularly want one, leave a comment, and it'll probably get done eventually. Personally, I'd like to go with Frozen Over. That's probably my number one
pick, because there's actually some interesting stuff in there instead of here's a sound font. Here's where I got it. Bye.